Hello! We are live, and I have my good friend Evelyn here today. I don't usually do live streams with people, so welcome.
Hi, I'm so excited. So thank you for popping on, guys. This is going to be so much fun. Like, you have no idea how excited we are for this live. And so, Annie, would you like to tell them what we're going to be going live for today?
Yes. So today we're going to be giving you 3 crucial tips as far as manifestation goes. And I'm really happy to have Evelyn here because if you didn't, maybe you watched the video that we did together, but Evelyn has a lot of experience with life transformation and manifesting so many things in her own life. And you also are like a very qualified, knowledgeable, embodied coach. Like, do you want to tell them a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so I'm a transformational life coach, and I specifically support people using neurolinguistic programming, clinical hypnotherapy, and I geek out over inner child and generational trauma healing. So for those of you who watched our video, a lot of you messaged me specifically on inner child healing. And today's video is specifically on manifesting, because so many people, we hear people talk all the time. I manifested money. I manifested my dream partner. I manifested my dream career. But for the longest time, I don't know about you, but I would just write the affirmations. I dotted my I's, crossed my T's, and did all the right things, but it still felt like something was missing. Like, I felt like I couldn't understand or grasp how manifestation actually works. But like, Annie and I both have literally manifested our dream life, like everything from the perfect dog, the perfect cat, the perfect living situation. So we're really excited to share with you like really crucial tips that have both been a game changer in both of our lives that you can take and implement in your life today.
Yes. So I'm so excited to dive on in, but before we do, I'm going to give it a few more, maybe a minute or so while people hop on. And I want to invite you to join the live chat right now, because as we're going through this training, and especially at the end, we'll be taking questions. So your questions live. So make sure to hop on in to the live chat.
If you've been wanting to work with Annie or I, like, people pay lots of money to get coaching. So if you have specific questions on manifestation in your life, how to manifest anything that you want, any challenges or struggles that you're experiencing, comment them in the chat, because at the very end of this, we will be doing a Q&A and answering all your questions, giving you a little live coaching session. So definitely take advantage of that, because you're not going to get this anywhere else. So let us know where you're from. Like, pop into the chat. I'd love to connect with you guys, because Annie's community is freaking amazing.
And they're from all over. We have someone from France right now.
Yes.
Where else are you? I know Josiah is here. Josiah is, I always forget the exact location, but it's over in the Caribbean.
So excited for this collab. So much gratitude. Oh, we're so grateful for you here. Like, you guys could literally be anywhere on the internet webs right now, and you're choosing to hop on live here with us. So thank you for being here. Like, yeah, my heart's so full. We're so excited for you.
And please, 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 if you enjoy this or just because you love us, hit the thumbs up button, because that really helps this video within the algorithm go out to more people. So it's highly
also, if you have anyone in your life that you feel like are struggling with manifestation, like maybe you see them succeeding in all these different ways, but they have a lot of blocks and challenges, also feel free to share this video with them, because it's going to help them out so much with helping them uncover those blocks and challenges to actually manifest and attract what they want, not the things that they don't want.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So tag them in or go share this real quick. And
John says thank you so much. Well, thank you for being here.
Hey, all right. So shall we begin?
Shall we begin? Let us know if you're excited in the comments below.
Oh, yes. One more thing. If you are watching the replay, let us know down below, because I am so down to answer any questions afterwards too. Type them out too.
Oh, Lou decided to make an appearance.
Everyone always wants Lou in the videos, so there you go.
Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and get started, because we want to keep this super short and sweet. So the first step, well, and this isn't really a step, because Annie and I were talking about manifestation. There are actually a multitude of steps, but we wanted to share with you 3 crucial tips that are a game changer. And the first one is really clearing your energy and healing the things that are coming up to be healed and releasing.
Yes. And that's one thing that I'm really excited about to have Evelyn here, because that is greatly within like the inner child healing realm. And I do a lot of that work within like my private client sessions, but I don't talk about that openly here because it's like, you know,
Yeah.
you're the pro. So do you have any tips as far as inner
Yeah.
child healing with manifestation and clearing things up?
Yeah. So here's the issue is that so many of us are trying to manifest the things that we want, but we need to remember that based on the law of attraction, the energy we put out is the energy that we give back. So you can write all the affirmations. You can be like, I want, $10,000 a month. I want this perfect soulmate client. But when we still have crap in our energetic field, wounds and trauma that we haven't healed from, those are actually blocking us from receiving the things that we want. So when it comes to inner child healing, every single one of us have experienced wounds from childhood in one way, shape, or form or another, right? We have abandonment wounds, trust wounds, guilt wounds, shame wounds. And ultimately, there's also a deep part of us that sometimes don't even think that we are worthy or good enough to attract those things. So the first step or this tip is to clear those things out, because when you can clear those things out, you can kind of have this more like neutral standpoint, like this neutral energy to actually start manifesting from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And also it's like you can manifest things, but if you haven't worked through that, you might self-sabotage and like lose it all because you didn't work through that and so much is coming up and you're like, I don't know how to handle this. And then it just kind of crumbles. For example, I'll give them a really quick little story of an inner child wound for me with public speaking.
Yeah.
So when I was in like the 4th grade, I was out on a field trip with my class and there was a news station interviewing kids at the park. And I was one of the kids that was interviewed. And I remember being super nervous and I was like, I don't even know what I said, but I'm going to be on TV. And I told my entire family, like, I'm going to be on the news. And so everyone tuned in, waiting to see me on the news. We all turned on the news and guess whose interview got cut out?
Oh,
Me. And you know how that felt? Like even talking about that, like I feel the buildup of like, I'm so ashamed. Like I wasn't good enough.
yeah.
Everyone was tuning in and I wasn't good enough. And so then when I go to speak later on in life, it's like, I'm not good enough. And that is reactivated in my body, So that's a really good example, in my opinion, of like, if you're not addressing that, and then you go out and try to do the things that you want to do and you have no awareness and you're like, why am I having an anxiety attack every single time I try the things I want to do?
Yeah. And that also happens in terms of money as well as like soulmates. Like how many times, let us know in the comments if this resonates with you, but like how many times have you seen people be in good relationships? Like they're like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted. And then something happens and they either sabotage or they do something that screws it up, which is basically sabotaging, right? People cheat, people lie, people, because there's a deep part of you that wanted to manifest this person, but then that deeper part feels like this person's too good for me or I'm not good enough for them. Or in money, you see this happen all the time. People will manifest money and then they'll lose it because they don't think that they are worthy of attracting it. So this video isn't just about, okay, let's help you manifest all the things, but it's like, how can we manifest it and keep it? Because how good is it if you manifest that dream partner or that amount of money and you lose it right away, right?
Yeah.
We want to keep it. So that's the first step, is you want to release the energetic blockages. Fun fact, if you guys haven't been following Annie and I are actually going to be hosting a retreat in San Diego, California. It's called Release and Ignite. So it's on September 30th till October 3rd. And the entire retreat is really based around releasing so that you can ignite the things within so that you can manifest the life of your dreams. So day 1 is all about releasing. Annie's going to be walking you through an amazing fire releasing ceremony. I'm going to be walking you through inner child healing, getting rid of the shit that is currently holding you back that you don't even think that you're aware of. So stay tuned for that. And then step two, connecting with your higher self. This is one that I don't talk about enough, but it's so important. So connecting with your higher self through unplugging and getting out in nature, because when we're so in our little worlds in our lives, in the chaos, in the news of everything going on social media, we cannot find clarity. We don't even know what our higher self, what our intuition is saying, because it's just like, I'm so confused. Like, I don't know if you felt that way before, but I'm pretty sure you have. Like, y'all, we grew up in the time where technology wasn't super big, and it was right around the technological revolution. So, I mean, Instagram only came about in 2009. So when we were in school, Instagram wasn't really a thing. And now people, it's everywhere, right? It's second nature for us to grab our phone. Like this is like a huge thing. Like this is a trigger for a lot of people. So oftentimes, I don't know if you've heard or seen the quote, like being busy, like feeling the need to be busy is a trauma response. Oh, look at that. Because it is like we stay busy all the time because we're trying to avoid the things that are coming up. So when you actually unplug, like what Annie said, you're giving yourself the time and space to be with your own thoughts and energy instead of being influenced by the people around you, right? You have your friends, your family, your culture, your religion, your society, everyone who has all these other goals. And both of us being in the entrepreneurial space, sometimes I'll admit, like there's been times in the past where I've set out goals like, oh, I want to hit this milestone. And then when I actually think back, I'm like, I don't even want that. Like those aren't my values. Like my values isn't this. It's maybe like wanting to build a legacy and wealth for my family, not just trying to get rich. So when you give yourself the time to unplug and be with nature, which by the way, Mother Nature is the most healing thing of all, like be in the elements, like get onto the beach, in the water, the lake, the ocean, the forest.
So yeah, I love just going hiking and sitting on the earth and meditating.
Yeah, because then you start to realize like, oh shit, this is what I want. And what I've wanted in the past maybe were things that my parents wanted for me, right? You like let us know in the comments if you've ever had someone who, like maybe you've lived your entire life being like, oh, I want to work to a 9 to 5. I want a 401k. I want to have a family, only to realize actually I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. I actually want to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. And we don't realize that
society told us that
we're
parents.
We're there's a misalignment of what we want versus like what we're saying that we want. Does that make sense?
That makes sense to me. But that's, like unplugging, getting out in nature. And you were saying like out there, it's like, that's where you realize what you want. And I feel like what we want is a state of peace. We don't want the chaos that we're always feeling. So when we can get out in nature or unplug or get into our genuine own energy, it's like, again, all of those things, the family and the big mansion and all the things society says, it's like, that's all pretty aligned with chaos. Actually, a lot of the ways we're going about it. So,
and guess what? Being with yourself is actually where you get more clarity on what you want, which actually leads into our next crucial tip. So in our Release and Ignite retreat in San Diego on September 30th, we actually have an entire day that's dedicated to taking you out to a hiking spot. Annie's going to be walking you through an amazing meditation up there. And then I am going to be walking you through a higher self meditation on the beach. So really helping you actually visualize who your higher self is, have that connection with them, get that clear like connection so that you know exactly this is what I want to manifest, whether it's in your career, your life, your relationships, money, all those things.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, to link that with the higher self as well, it's like when we're actually genuinely connected with our higher self vision, we can see above the chaos and the lies, and like we're like, oh wait, I have so much more clarity, and you feel unstoppable. And I've done your higher self meditation. It works. It's good.
Like you guys probably know, like whether you're from Greece or whether you're from Jamaica, like the state of the world can be really chaotic. Like what do we see on the headlines in the news, right? All this fear, it's fear. And guess what? Fear is used to control us. Like we have fears because our fears are used to control us through our limiting beliefs. So when the news, the government, or whatever it may be, they're putting things on the headlines to make us fear. And fear is one of the lowest vibration emotions. And when we have that fear, it's blocking us actually from manifesting. That's why you're seeing so many people struggle way more than they need to right now. We don't want you to struggle. We want you to live a successful life. Like we want you to manifest and attract all the things that you want, because anything is possible. So releasing that fear. So that's what this entire retreat is going to be about, is like releasing, getting in tune with yourself, getting clear on what it is that you want, which then leads us to tip number 3.
Yes, which is get into energetic alignment, and from there take inspired action. So what do you have to say about that, Evelyn?
Energetic alignment. Something that I need you to understand, and one of the main things to take away is that emotions are energy in motion. So every emotion, you can actually Google this, the emotional guidance scale. Every emotion that we experience as a human being vibrates at a very specific frequency. So the higher vibration of emotion will have a higher frequency. The highest frequencies are love, joy, freedom, happiness, and peace. Some of the lowest emotions are anger, shame, fear, guilt. That's why we want to help you release those negative emotions on day one of the retreat, so that you can clear that out of the way and then focus on getting into the energetic alignment of love
And having fun,
freedom, play. Yeah, when
Yes.
you're having fun, you're actually flowing with the universe. And that's what we mean by getting into energetic alignment. And then on the last day, Annie and I will be walking you through future pacing and scripting.
My people love scripting. So everyone's always requesting like a scripting workshop or some like in-depth scripting thing. Like this is the first time that I'm really going to be fully doing that with my in-people retreat goers. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah, so scripting, as you guys know, is journaling as if you're living the life that you desire. So what does that look like as if it were happening right now? And can you really dream it up and dream big, and don't hold back and don't go like, oh, maybe I could like make $100 more a year. Like, no, like, what do you really want? Like, why do we limit ourselves? Like, dream big. Because for me personally, and I'm sure you've had these experiences, the things that I script about and I have clarity around and I feel it, and I feel like that openness, like I'm actually experiencing it because I'm so descriptive. Those things have happened.
Yeah, and something that I really want to share with you is that, so in neurolinguistic programming, it's basically the process of how we use language, which is both verbal and nonverbal, to communicate with ourselves and with others to achieve all the results that we desire in life. And think about your conscious and unconscious mind. You probably hear that all the time. The conscious mind is like you and I engaging and talking right now. Your unconscious mind, if you think of the tip of the iceberg, what you see at the very top is the tip, right? The conscious mind. What actually drives that iceberg is your unconscious. So your unconscious mind is actually responsible for over 99.996% of your reality. It's where your identities, your beliefs, your values, your behaviors, your patterns, so everything that is needed to manifest is all housed in your subconscious mind. And when it comes to achieving your goals and manifesting, your conscious mind is the goal setter. Your unconscious mind is the goal getter. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So goal setter and goal getter. So we set these goals, but when our beliefs and our identity and how we show up in the world and our behaviors are out of alignment with what the goals that we are setting, we're not going to be an energetic match to actually manifest the things that we want. So that's why on the last day of the retreat, we're not just walking you through like, okay, here's like, imagine where you want to be and like write down scripting. Annie and I are partnering up together, and we're going to help you really reprogram your subconscious mind for success. Because when you manifest the things that you want and you visualize and you script, what happens is that you are actually giving your subconscious mind orders to follow. That's why have you ever noticed that like when you put so much energy and focus into like thinking about a car that you want, everywhere you drive, that's all you see, because your subconscious mind is now programmed to helping you take the actions and utilizing your intuition to move you towards opportunities and people to help you actually get there. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah. And then when you have that, and you have that clarity, and you have all of these pieces and everything working together to lead you in that direction, and you can really take that inspired action. And one of my favorite tips with that is to get into the energy of what you want. So another thing we're going to be doing at the retreat is a confidence photo shoot, which that is like the energy. Like, who do you want to be? How do you want to show up? Because that version of yourself who's not super timid and not held back and not like feeling that anxiety, like the real version of you is already in there. Yeah. And you got to step into that now. It's not the future version. It's already there. So how can you take little steps right now to express that version of yourself in small ways. It's not like you have to rip off this costume that you've been wearing for years and be like, here's the real me. Like that would be really a huge shock to your system. But like, what little things can you do to show up as who you really are? Because that's what it really is. Like,
yeah.
That's who you really are.
When you're confident with yourself internally and externally, that is going to directly affect the things that you manifest, because you don't see the, like when you're like, oh, like Annie wouldn't have freaking manifested this beautiful apartment if she was kind of like, like I kind of want it. I'm like not really confident that it's gonna happen, but
there's
she
no
was
way
like,
I could ever pay for it.
Yeah, but she was like, I'm freaking manifesting this. It's happening. I see myself. I deserve to be there. I'm worthy of being here. And she's been in here for how long now? So like this confidence photo shoot, it might sound scary to some people, but like we have both seen some massive transformations, both with men and women. When you look at that photo of yourself and you are like, damn, I freaking look good. Like, it's not just about, oh, let's post them on social media. It's much more than that. It's like an internal thing. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of boudoir, but it's like where women will work with photographers and take really good photos in lingerie. And it's not just about like, here's me posting. A lot of women actually don't post those photos that they take. It's simply for the personal and self-development of being able to be comfortable in front of the camera, looking at the photos and looking at yourself in a different perspective and being like, damn, I'm freaking hot. I'm confident. Like I look good. Like how come I didn't see myself in this light before?
Mm-hmm.
So we're really excited about this confidence photo shoot.
Don't worry if that scares you, like the lingerie thing. That's not what we're doing.
No. We're going to be helping. No. You get to wear whatever it is that you want. If you want to wear a lingerie, then great.
Yeah, we'll support you in that.
Annie and I will be helping you with posing. We'll be helping you get all your good angles and helping you get some amazing photos that you can use just for yourself, or if you want to use to post on social media for your business, for professional uses. So we're really excited about that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, to kind of recap, 3 crucial steps that we have for manifesting your dream life and your desires is 1,
clear your energy, do some healing work, inner child work.
Yeah.
Let go of the energetic gunk in your system.
Crucial tip 2, connecting with your higher self, the part of you that's rid and free from all that gunk, your higher self is the part of you that just knows that everything is happening the way that it needs to. It has no fears. Like that part of you is so sure because every single one of us came into this earth for a reason. Our souls knew exactly the life lessons that we were going to come in here to experience. So our human selves get freaked out because we're like, shit, like life just threw me this curveball. But when you tap into your higher self, you start to understand that I'm experiencing this challenge for this reason. You know, this happened to me because of this. These are the lessons that I can learn from it. So when you can connect with that part of you, it's going to be easier for you to like when you're at a tennis, like the tennis practice and the ball's coming at you at like hyper speed, instead of being like, oh my God, all the balls. It's like you get to like just like fling every single one of those balls out of the park. So that's number 2, is just connecting deeply with your higher self and by unplugging and getting in with Mother Nature.
Yes.
And then tip number 3
is get into energetic alignment and take inspired action. And that includes like stepping in to that version of yourself that is the true you.
Yeah. So if we haven't already talked about the retreat enough, I just want you guys to know, like, Annie and I are really freaking excited about it because 1, a lot of us have really been lacking human connection and like getting in a group of people who are very there for the same reason, right? So many of us have friends and family that are very low vibration. Like we love them to bits, but a lot of people have trauma and wounds and fears, and it's easy to allow those energies to affect us. So this retreat is like all about fun, play, personal development, taking action. We want you to leave this retreat feeling like a whole brand new transformed person, ready to take action and attract all the things that you want.
Yes. And there's so many other things that I'm so excited about. Like the last night, we're going to do a full on like slumber party. Like the whole thing's sleepover style, but like the last night we're having like inner child fun, slumber party, movie, snacks, dance party. You know, the inner child in us, like I'm really excited about that. But other than that, there's like a private chef
Yeah.
coming one of the nights.
So accommodation is going to be provided. So all you have to do is really take care of your own flights. Meals are going to be provided. Accommodations provided.
Beautiful Airbnb.
It's going to be a beautiful Airbnb in San Diego. Lots of beach time, being out in nature, being around other people who want you to succeed and rise.
Yes.
So yeah, like not only are you going to be coming in and relaxing, having fun, but also like healing and transforming and just evolving in all areas of your life.
Yeah. And also one of the reasons that I've always wanted to do something like this is because, well, just my experience connecting with friends on a deep level. Like everyone's always like, how did you meet the friends that you have now? It honestly started with us getting together in these Airbnbs, and we just were like sharing and talking and opening up, and it just unlocked so much within us. And that's how you see these relationships I have from that exactly. And I'm like, I want to help recreate that. So the people who are always like, how do I manifest my soul friendships? This is how.
You meet them in places like this. That's
This
how Annie
is how.
and I met.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions about that, feel free to message Annie, DM Annie and I.
Or leave them in the
or
chat
leave
live
them
right
in the
now.
chat right now. In the description box below, Annie will also put in
It's already
the link.
there.
It's already there.
Yeah.
We do have payment plans because we want to make this as accessible for people as possible. It is a lot lower price than a lot of the retreats that you see out there, because we wanted to make this as affordable for as many people as possible. And we do have different, like we have a general as well as a VIP. So just know that there are lots of different options, and just reach out to us if you have any questions. Post them in the comments below. I would love to meet you guys. Like we would love to meet you in person. Like, come on, what's better than like relaxing, rejuvenating in sunny San Diego on the beach and like healing, and like, we don't just want you to be like, okay, well, great, I just came here for 4 days, but it's like now you have actual tools that you can take with you from the retreat to attract all the things that you freaking want.
You guys, if you've been watching my videos for a while and you've always been like, I want to be friends with Annie, this is how you do it. We literally will be spending like Thursday to Sunday together, like the whole time. It's going to be so fun.
Thursday, September 30th till October 3rd. You do not want to miss out on this. Like, I would love to see your faces. We want you to succeed. We want you to attract all the things that you want: the money, the finances, the abundance, the relationships, the career, the
opening
business.
Your communication is a huge one. You
Yeah.
need a space where you can actually like talk and process and really share your heart. That's always my favorite part.
So basically just get ready for a total like mind, body, soul, career, professional transformation. Like, you have no idea what you're in for. But anyways, enough talk about the Release in Ignite retreat. Comment below if you have any questions. The link to sign up is in the description box, but we're going to open up the floor for Q&A.
For anything, manifestation, retreat.
Yeah, so I think we had some questions here. So the question is, okay, Kristen says, I'm also curious about the link between substance use or addiction and ancestral trauma. So
we have a pro right here.
So I actually went viral on TikTok. Like, I went from like 7 followers to like 120,000 followers, and majority of my videos that have gone viral is on substance abuse and my experience and story with cannabis addiction. So I struggled with substance abuse for over 8.5 years. And for the longest time, I was in denial. And this is the thing about a lot of people with substance abuse, whether it's drugs, alcohol, anything. Like, you can even be addicted to like gambling and sex and all these different things. These are coping mechanisms that we subconsciously do to kind of numb the pain that we're experiencing. So I didn't realize until really recently, the past like 1.5 years, where I was actually just numbing a lot of the pain that I experienced from childhood. So a lot of where my experience with substance abuse comes from when I was in high school. I always wanted to be fit in. I was extremely bullied, experienced anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation. And in order for me to fit in, I only fit in with the people who were in the smoking section. So this one girl, she kind of brought me into her life, and I felt love for the first time. And she was a pot smoker. And that was when I really first started using pot. And then through that, it was almost like every other friend or boyfriend that I dated at that time. And I basically manifested this without realizing it. I was putting so much of my energy towards like cannabis. Everyone in my life was surrounded by cannabis, like drug dealers and stuff. And so this kind of stayed with me for years. And then I had a dependency on it. I became addicted to the feeling of being high. I'm not saying that cannabis is addictive, so don't like hate on me in the comments. I'm saying that you can be addicted to the feeling that you get, which is like literally retracting yourself from reality,
taking you out of your natural state.
Yeah, because why do alcoholics drink? Why do drug users like use drugs when they
self-medication?
It's self-medication. So when it says linked to ancestral trauma, if you have parents or family members that have struggled with abuse, the thing about ancestral trauma is that through epigenetics, we can inherit the biological residue from traumatic events in our family history. So if you have parents and grandparents who struggled with addiction or substance abuse, we can inherit them, and that's just the truth. But at the end of the day, we also have the ability to heal from it and be the ones who break the generational cycle, right? So I hope that answers your question about substance abuse and addiction and ancestral trauma, Kristen. Anita says, will the retreat portion of meditation on hike and beach be videotaped, as I would like to go, but work or the school department and cannot take off and would love to join in on the meditation? I mean, if that's something that you guys, if there's a bunch of you that really want it, we can totally create a specific offer just for meditations for you guys.
Although it wouldn't be like recorded from the experience itself, because obviously we also care about the attendees, their personal space and, not sharing it out there with the world.
And the audio would be horrible because we'd be hearing wind going by in the ocean. But let us know in the comments if you are interested in Annie and I to film an extra or like record an extra meditation as like a little bundle for you guys to get. For those who absolutely cannot be at the retreat, let us know. If there's enough people, then Annie and I are more than happy to do that for you guys.
And with that, someone also said, can there be a virtual component to this retreat? And I will say no, because a big part of this retreat is to unplug and stop being so sucked in to the virtual world and the chaos. Like we're very intentionally pulling away from that.
However, we do understand that, people who live in like very maybe far parts of the world, some people just physically cannot make it, whether you have kids or whether you are stuck in wherever you are. Again, if there's enough people who are like, yo, I want to be there, can you guys do something like this retreat, but virtually? If there's enough people that we think it's an energetic alignment, then I'm sure that we could do like a one-day thing virtually.
Yeah, like a one-day, like taking you through some of the things, but it's going to be a completely different experience. Being
in person and having that connection, and Annie and I like with you energetically, because like you can tap into energy virtually, but there's nothing like being in the same space with people. Like we are going to this Airbnb beforehand and we're clearing out the space. We're
staging.
We're setting really clear intentions in this place so that the woman that walk in there, you're walking into a very sacred environment, which it's just not the same virtually. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Also, shout out to John Beneman. He's a good hype guy.
I'm loving you, John. Thank you. What else? Will you ladies do another retreat? I won't be able to make this first one, but would love to attend someday.
There's no moment like the present, and there's no guarantees, but we're just going to see how this first one goes.
Yeah, we're really excited about this. Annie and I, we do have different lifestyles, and I am kind of doing digital nomad for a little bit. So it's not, we cannot be confident saying, yes, there will be another retreat, but that will be dependent on how this one goes. Like we have really high hopes. We're really excited, but it's not easy planning a retreat. Sometimes there's a lot of like factors that come into play. We have our assistants helping us. We have, connecting with the private chef, organizing everything, the itinerary, the gift bags. I forgot the gift bag.
Oh, yeah.
So you all have.
Oh, yeah. Someone actually asked, what's the difference between regular and VIP?
So with the main difference between the regular and the VIP is that the VIP people, you actually will get a very different, not different, but a more upgraded goodie bag. So we actually have a connection where you will get a specific gift box that's specific to you in this retreat. So there's going to be bath salts, incense,
maybe some
crystals, Palo Santo, healing tea. So there's specific types of bath salts and specific types of healing teas that will help you with your inner healing journey.
Energetics.
Yeah, inner healing journey, energetics. And then there's also a hot seat private group coaching call with Annie and I individually. So anything that you're struggling with or have goals that you want, mine's going to be more focused on inner child and generational trauma healing. So you will be getting like individual coaching, like live coaching with me virtually. And then Annie's.
We'll do a completely separate session. And I'm go with the flow. It's probably going to be manifestation and energy. But also just to keep in mind, those are two separate coaching calls completely after the retreat. So it's almost like touch points. Like,
yes, yeah, exactly. Because you're basically going to be given more tools to advance and excel in your personal development and professional development journey. And
the VIP also get a ton of digital products, like her courses, my courses.
Well, tell them what they're going to get from you.
So you'll get the manifestation transformation. For one, you'll get 2 months.
Which is like, by the way, guys, like a $700-800 value.
Yeah. 2 months into my membership. So the Master Manifestor membership, you get 2 free months in there to come join. And that's amazing. That alone has monthly coaching calls, virtual workshops, like moon ceremonies, live meditations every week. Like it's a ton, a ton. So amazing. And then coupon. Oh, and then anyone who does VIP will also get $333 off if you want to do my next live round of the manifestation transformation, which will be all new content, completely new from anything I've done.
Yeah. And for me, you will be able to receive my inner child healing mini course, also my communicate with confidence course. And you'll also receive, I think it's $500 off my certification program. So for those of you who are interested in becoming a life coach, neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, clinical hypnotherapist, emotional freedom techniques, so EFT or tapping practitioner, or time techniques, I have a certification program called Evolve and Ignite. We both love Ignition. And you'll actually get $500 off of that. So that's the main difference between the VIP. It's just you get so much more.
Yeah, on top with the VIP.
And like the goodie bag, like the gift box that you're going to get is just like, oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely worth it.
What other questions? Oh, Nocturnal Drive says, could ADHD be an issue with relationship issues? I don't ever want to say that it's an issue, but ADHD, like, again, I'm not a mental health therapist.
I have ADHD.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it boils down to communication. So oftentimes, like when a partner has ADHD, you are wired a little differently. The way that you communicate is very different. The way that you see the world, how you are energetically is different, right? So if your partner is not understanding where you're at, you're not able to communicate, then that can cause relationship issues because you're not getting on the same page. This is why people fight, because let's say hypothetically, someone who has ADHD, so maybe talk about some things that have happened in the past, like for you, like ADHD, like what were some of your common symptoms?
So for me, I've always had such a busy brain.
Right.
So my brain's really busy and it's hard to like put things into words. So I would have all of these issues going on in my head, but I wouldn't even know how to verbalize them. So it is communication, but it's like I have all these thoughts and issues and problems bouncing around everywhere that it's like I don't even know how to like talk about it. And then by the time I talk about it, it's just like word vomit, and then it feels like a really big explosion of problems. And it's like, where did that all come from? But also the whole just like at times hyperactive, people not really understanding the energy of for example, I had a boyfriend who loved watching movies. And if I was eating or something was going on, I literally couldn't watch the movie and eat at the same time. And he was like, why don't you watch? I'm like, I literally can't do the two things at once. And I would just feel frustrated. Or like I would be a little messy because brain's bouncing all over the place. And he was a clean freak. And I'm like, I don't even realize I'm doing that. So, and then that would bother him and it would hit on his pain points because his parents were really strict with cleanliness.
Exactly. But then let's say hypothetically, the partner knows and understands, oh, like Annie, like it's hard for Annie to be able to eat and watch a movie at the same time. So then maybe the solution is let's eat before we go to dinner. So let's have dinner before we watch a movie. So then that helps out with that. Or like, I understand that she's a little bit more not as neat freaks. So then maybe there's like once a week where like we will clean up together. Like it's all boils down to communication. So like ADHD is only really an issue in a relationship when communication is not on the same page.
And understanding is not on the same page.
But I don't want to say that ADHD itself is an issue because it's just, it's ADHD. Like
ADHD can be a very huge superpower, actually.
It is. Anita, I would love to see the meditation. Always Aspire says, this sounds amazing. The VIP package is such a good deal. Wish I could go. We wish you could go. Let us know in the comments like why you can't come. We want to see you. Tippy says, I was addicted to numbing the pain, but now that I'm sober and have been for a while, I still struggle. I still feel numb. Any advice to help feel again? So this is an amazing question because I think a lot of people, we still feel numb because, let me know if I'm on the right track here. It almost feels like you might have stopped numbing the thing, like numbing the pain, but maybe you're doing other things. So for example, like social media, being busy, like when we're just scrolling on our phones all the time on TikTok, on Instagram, when we are working all the time, right? Or just constantly being busy, we're still numbing without even realizing it. So the best way to like feel again is actually allowing yourself to feel those energies and emotions, right? We're so, like as human beings, we've been conditioned that we can't feel angry. We can't feel sad. It's not safe to cry because maybe as a child, you're too loud. Stop crying. Why are you being a baby? But when you actually give yourself the space and permission, right? To be like, cry it all out. It's not like you're gonna cry for 3 days. Maybe you will. But like sometimes it's just like have you ever had those like big, deep cries and you feel so good afterwards? So I feel like for you, Tippy T, go and like give yourself permission to like feel your emotions. Like go out to Mother Nature, like what we said, go on a hike, go meditate. And like, if you feel angry, scream into a pillow, yell, be loud. If you want to cry it all out.
One thing that I've come across from people and something that I kind of experienced at times before, I'm a big feeler, but I have had times where I'm disconnected from my body. And even just being so up in your head, in your thoughts can numb you out because you're so in your thoughts that you are avoiding what you're feeling in your body. When I really got introduced to the like integrating your emotions and like really feeling into your body, I didn't understand what that meant because I was like so in my head all the time. And they're like, feel into your heart, like feel into the space in your body. And I would do that. And I'm like, I felt fine, but as soon as I put my attention there, it feels chaotic. Why would you tell me to do that? It's bringing it up. And it wasn't bringing it up. It's because I was so avoidant and detached from it and in my head that I couldn't even notice that was always there. So actually, I do this a lot with myself and my clients. This is like one of my main principles of like feeling. And like when I take people through meditations, it's all about settling into your body and knowing that it's safe to just feel those things. And even though it's uncomfortable, when you actually sit there with your attention on the feelings and allow them to be there and don't label them as bad, you actually are able to get through them easier and quicker than constantly avoiding.
Yeah, trauma is stored in the body. So like trauma is like stored into the cells that are in like our muscle tissues. And that's why like, a lot of the people who like actually work out, move their body, you see them being happier because they're actually allowing the energy to move through their body. So yeah, that's a really
anytime I feel stagnant or like heaviness, go on a walk. By the end of the hour, I'm like, God, I feel light. I can breathe.
And when you feel light and you can breathe, that's also when it's easier for you to manifest.
Yeah, because you're energetically open.
Like, think about yourself. I always say, like, if you're like this battery, like in your energetic field, let's say you have like 100 liters worth of energy. Like, just stay with me here for a second. And like, let's say 75% of that, 75 like liters is filled with like gunk and trauma and wounds. You're not leaving much space for you to actually attract more into your life. So you actually have to release the heaviness, the baggage, the past, and not just ignore it, but like actually heal and release it to make room for more things, right?
I'm ready to change my life for the better, but nothing has changed. Even if I tried the techniques and high vibes, I feel like giving up. How would you get out of that?
I feel I'm so ready to change my life for the better, but nothing has changed, even if I try techniques. So Dominique, I think the question that I have for you is, what techniques have you tried? Because there are so many things out there. And honestly, for the longest time, a lot of things didn't help for me. Like affirmations didn't help. Like, I don't know if you saw Annie's TikTok, but like, I literally was a girl who ran into my mom's closet and would be like, I'm so beautiful. I am successful. Because every
screaming it out.
Yeah, every freaking like manifestation life coach that I saw at that time said that that was how you get out of your shit. But it didn't work for me because deep down, I didn't believe any of that stuff. So one, what is the techniques that you're using? Because not every technique will work for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, people have had amazing experiences working with therapists, but I also have heard horrible stories of people who actually didn't do well working with therapists. Like, one of my family members ended up in the hospital because of his therapist, because they just weren't in tune and tapped. So therapy works for some people, it doesn't work for others. I'm a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner and clinical hypnotherapist. It has helped all my clients, but there are some people who are just like, I'm not into hypnotherapy. So, and then Annie and I both do life coaching, and Annie does a lot of like spiritual work that helps clear a lot of like your energy out. So there's many different tools and techniques out there. So I would say like, there's no need for you to give up, because the thing that you have that's meant for you, maybe you just haven't come across it. Maybe you were meant to be on this video to hear about all these different tools. Like, maybe a therapist didn't work for you, but maybe working with a clinical hypnotherapist will. Maybe a psychiatrist didn't help for you, but maybe working with a life and spiritual mentor and coach will help for you.
Maybe going to a Reiki practitioner.
Maybe coming to a retreat.
Yes, maybe coming to a retreat. And I think also with like the tools you're saying, like, what are you using? Affirmations? Are you scripting? Is that what you're doing? Because if you're doing that without the healing work, you're probably going to sabotage if you have a lot of things to like just work through still. So
yeah,
I always say, if you have a lot coming up and a lot of heaviness and a lot of like feelings, you don't just skip straight to the scripting and manifestation work. You do the healing work first.
Or the affirmations.
Yeah.
Because like, remember when I was talking about your subconscious mind? Like, your so there's something called like the layers of the mind, and it's basically how transformation happens. So at the very top of this like triangle pyramid thing, so her mom's calling. So if you look at this triangle, right, you can see this at the very top is like your vision. We need to get clear on the vision and what we want out of life, and then it goes into like identity, like how you actually show up in the world. Like, if you've lived your entire life constantly telling yourself, I'm unlovable, I'm not good enough, I'm fat, I'm broke, I'm unsuccessful, you can't just go around and say, I'm successful, I'm happy, I'm lovable, and I'm pretty, because that's too big of a gap. You have to be able to like start working on your identity, and that's going to change. And then after identity is like your values, right? And then values, and then we go down to the very bottom, which is our like actual external results. It's our behaviors. It's what we actually do. So I hope that answers your question. Tippy T says, I'm always watching a 2 and 3-year-old. Perfect to do inner child work and play. Yeah, that too, because children can teach us a lot. But not only that, Tippy T, I also recommend like taking some time out of like yourself, like taking time for yourself without the children. And like, whether that's asking a family member once a week to help you out, a friend to babysit, getting like a babysitter or something like that, where you can just like prioritize you.
Yeah. Or maybe it's like, I put the kids down and then I turn on the TV. Like, what if instead put the kids down to bed and then I really do some real self-care work that's going to help open me up energetically and soften me? And because I've had that issue where it's like, oh, I'm exhausted, let's just turn on the TV. And then you do that every single night. Oh, I'll do the healing stuff. I'll do the personal work later. But then after a while, it's like, oh my gosh, it's been 3 years and I still have been waiting till later.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I love and have so much compassion for moms and people who care for another person, because you do really put them before you. But and society has taught you that, right? Society teaches you that if you're a mom, you can only be a mom. Like, you identify as a mom or a dad. But at the end of the day, like, you were you before you became a mom. So it's important for you to prioritize yourself first, because that's actually, and people think that that makes you selfish, but it's not, because when you prioritize yourself, you're focusing on your energy. And that's where like well-behaved children, loving children come out of. Because if you're stressed and you're anxious all the time, that energy is going to feed right off to your kids.
I'm like, I was the child of a mother who's very like go, 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 go. And I like had all that anxiety around me my whole life. And it's like, as soon as I lived by myself, I didn't feel that in my body, even though I grew up feeling anxious constantly.
Right.
And then by myself, didn't feel that because I wasn't picking it up from my environment. And that affected me greatly. So I'm definitely a child of that. But we are actually going to have to close out because we have an Instagram live to hop on.
Yeah, maybe let's just finish one more question here. So we'll do one more question here from Kes, because we are hopping on Instagram. So if you want to hear us chat about this again, hop on Instagram. She says, can you still heal and work on yourself if you're in a relationship that's kind of stressful? Are you still able to make that relationship work, or would you just have to let that person go?
I think it's an individual basis. You have to assess. Is that person on the same path as you? I've known so many people who it's like once they start focusing on themselves, the relationship itself shifts because we're trying to pour in and make it work with that other person. And we think that that's where our energy needs to go. But it's like when you work on yourself and your energy is all here, like that's going to shift with them. They're going to start seeing you different. You're going to start seeing them different. But also, again, an individual basis situation because I don't know the dynamics. Some people are in very toxic situations, and I'm not saying stay and make that work, but sometimes there are things that if you just like do your own work and make it your point to have your focus there. Because I was always that like, the other person, I need to fix the other person. Yeah. Like, they need to love me. Didn't work.
I completely agree with Annie on this. And I think it just comes down to like, is this a relationship you want to prioritize, and does it align with your highest values? Because if your value is freedom, love, respect, trust, and honesty, and you're not getting that, then I think it's kind of like getting real with ourselves. Like, is this relationship actually benefiting me? And it's also like us taking responsibility. Like, oh shit, I really love this person. This person is actually really great for me. However, I've sabotaged this, or I have not shown up as my highest self, and then I need to work on things. And again, it boils down to just communication. Like, communicate with your partner and see, is this something that you guys both want and prioritize? If it's not healthy for either of you and not helping you both evolve into the better versions of yourself, then maybe it is time to let that go. But that's not up to Annie and I to decide. That's for you to kind of like tune within and get in touch with your partner.
Yeah. You know the answer.
You always do.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for having me on. Annie's container and community is so freaking amazing. If you guys want us to do more of these, then definitely let us know.
Yes.
Let Annie know.
Evelyn is in the area as of right now. So while she's around, we could definitely do more. And again, like check out the retreat.
Yeah. Release and Ignite Personal Development, Healing, Evolution, Transformation Retreat in San Diego, California on September 30th till October 3rd.
Check out the link though, because like we didn't even explain everything, but you'll see the page and you'll see all the details and you're gonna be like, what? That's even more amazing than what they were expressing.
And connect with us on Instagram, because if you have questions, you after this, you can totally just message us.
Yes, literally in 5 minutes, we're going to be hopping on IG Live, covering some of the same stuff, but it's going to flow in its own way. More live streams!
Yay! Okay, we love you guys.
Thanks,
have an amazing rest of your day.
Click the link. Talk to you later. Bye!
Oh my God, that was so much fun.
So much.
That was